Hi, my name is Jackie Connolly. I'm the broker owner of New England Home Finders, and I wanted to invite you to this little blog that we're doing to share some information with you on what's going on in the market currently today. A lot of people are thinking that the home prices are going to fall, but there's a lot of indication that that might not be the case. And I wanted to share that with you and give you a little information on what I've learned, and so it can help all of our buyers out there make an educated decision on where to go from here. So over the last few years, the rate of home prices have appreciated at a dramatic pace. While that led to incredible equity gains for homeowners, it also caused some buyers to wonder if home prices will fall. So of course, everybody's hoping that the market's going to crash and that prices are going to drop and they'll have an opportunity to get into the market. So a lot of buyers are standing on the fence waiting for this to happen. But I don't see that happening anytime soon because unless there's another major crash in America in general, most people are working today who have mortgages. And so I don't see, unless there's some sort of job losses that are going on or anything like that, I don't really see that there's going to be any type of major REO foreclosure coming our way. So we'll go into it a little more so you can make your own opinion. Because again, we're all guessing. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You just take all the data and you try to go by history on what's happened in the past and have an educated guess on where we're going in the future. So it's important to know that the housing market isn't a bubble about to burst, and home prices growth is supported by strong market fundamentals. And what they mean by that is there's still buyers out there looking to buy. We're still having over asking offers on our properties because there's a limited supply of inventory. So what's going to be starting to happen is more and more properties are coming on the market. Just recently, in the last 3 weeks, I've put 3 new listings on the market, which is fabulous, right? And so now there's going to be more for buyers to choose from. But the problem is that the interest rates have creeped up so much that a lot of the buyers got knocked right out of the market. So somebody who could afford a $500,000 house at 3.25% interest now is probably looking at like a 375 to a $400,000 house at 6% interest. So it really cut out a lot of the buyers and it dropped down the buying power of a lot of the buyers. So that's where the change is in the market. So there's going to be coming more properties on the market, which means properties are going to be on the market longer. The standard market properties are on the market for 2 to 3 months. Right now, we barely get them for two to 3 days or 2 to 3 weeks, right? So a lot of that's going to be settling down. So for the buyers who are out there looking to buy, you're not going to be as much in that panic mode as you were before, having to give up inspections and so forth. All that's about to change. So it's good in the regard of the buyers are going to have more inventory, there's going to be less competition, and so you're going to be able to, not be so rushed to make your decision, which I think is great for the buyers because, it's probably the biggest asset that most of us ever buy in our lifetime. And it's not a decision that you want to take lightly, right? So this is good news for the buyers. Now, I understand that the interest rates are high, and that is something that's a concern to all of us, especially if you're purchasing right now. But the most important thing is this: even with the interest rates high, when they tell you what the monthly payment is, including your taxes and insurance, if that's something that you can afford to pay, then I recommend that you move forward. Because think of this: rents are increasing drastically right now. So anybody who's paying rent, their rent is going to keep going up and up and up, and they have no control over it. They have no control whether the landlord decides to evict them and move somebody else into the property. They have no control over what they can and can't do at the property. And that's why home ownership is the best investment anybody ever can make, because very rarely do you lose money when you buy real estate. Just think of it like this: if it's something that's affordable, and yeah, maybe the interest rate is a little high, but in a few years from now, when the market drops and the interest rate drops, rather, you'll be able to refinance and actually save yourself some money. So that's something for you to think about, right? Okay, I just wanted to share that with you. So to understand why prices declines are unlikely, it's important to explore what caused home prices to rise so much recently and what experts say home prices are headed, where they're headed, and here's what you need to know. So according to this chart, the graph below uses the latest data from the CoreLogic to illustrate the rise in home prices over the past year and a half. The gray bar represents the dramatic increase and the rate of home price appreciation in 2021. The national home price gains to exceed 20%. So if you're taking a look at that chart, you can see how much they've gained in the last few years. You might be asking, why did home prices climb so much last year? It's because there were more buyers than there were homes for sale. The imbalance put upward pressure on home prices because demand was extremely high and supply was record low. So we know that the game of economy runs on supply and demand, correct? So, where we had so very few houses and we had so many buyers trying to get into these properties, that's why the sellers were able to go up higher and higher on the pricing, causing the price increase to go where it did. But now there's going to be fewer buyers because fewer buyers can afford to buy. A lot of buyers are thinking that it might be smart to sit on the fence and on the sidelines and wait, which in my opinion, the values of real estate is going to continue to go up. I think it's finally going to balance off where it's going up moderately the way it should, 4 to 5%, maybe 6%, compared to 19 and 20% like we've been seeing in the last 2 years. It's a most unprecedented increase in real estate that in my 36 years of doing real estate have I ever seen increases such as that. Where experts say prices will go from here. While housing inventory is increasing and buyer demand is softening today, there is still a shortage of homes available for sale. That's why the market is ongoing price and appreciation. And so until we start getting more inventory, we're not going to see things level out the way we would like. But I can promise you that there's more and more inventory coming to the market, which is going to help the buyers who are out there looking. And like I said, keep in mind, it's no longer about getting a deal. Nobody's getting a deal. We're getting affordability. Can you afford it? If you can afford it, then it's a smart move to make because the person who's paying rent in the apartment next door to you, let's see how much their rent goes up between now and the next year or two. So Mark Fleming, the chief economist of First American, explains it like this. We're still well below normal levels of inventory, and that's why even with the pullback in demand, we still see house prices appreciating. While there is more inventory, it's still not enough. So it's true, I have just put 3 new houses on the market, but because it's still way more buyers than there are houses, we're still going over asking. So the market is still a little bit high, but I've also seen a lot of price reductions for people who were getting greedy in the market and thought they could make $1 million off a $500,000 house. And they're all starting to have to take the reality pill and drop their prices to something more realistic. The other thing that sellers don't understand is you can put any price you want on a sticker, but it has to appraise. And if it doesn't appraise, the buyer is not going to be able to get financing for the property. So it all has to be relevant, right? So as a result, experts are projecting a more moderate rate of home price appreciation this year, which means home prices will continue to rise, but at a slower pace. That doesn't mean prices are going to fall. As Selma Hepp, deputy chief economist at CoreLogic says, the current home price growth rate is unsustainable, and higher mortgage rates coupled with more inventory will lead to slower home price growth, but unlikely declines in home prices. So things are about to change. The market is shifting, but like I said, your home monthly payment is going to be stable. So if you get into a mortgage, you don't have to worry about that mortgage going up. It's going to be for the same price for the next 30 years. And so that's a good thing for the buyers out there. So if you're planning to buy a home, that means you shouldn't wait for home prices to drop to make your purchase. Instead, buying today means you get ahead of the future price increases and benefit from the rise in prices in the form of home equity. So if you buy a house right now for $200,000, and even if you do nothing to it, there's a very good chance that next spring when the market comes around, you can sell it for 205 just for doing nothing. You could sell it for 210. Who knows exactly where the market will be, but owning real estate is very rarely a bad investment. So the bottom line is this: home prices skyrocketed in the recent years because there was more demand than supply. As the market shifts, experts aren't forecasting a drop in prices, just a slowdown in the rate of price growth. To understand what's happening with home prices in our area, let's connect today. So if anybody's thinking about buying, or you're on the fence, or you have a couple of questions of what you should and shouldn't do, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, it's Jackie Connolly from New England Home Finders. I am the broker owner here. And my best contact is to catch me on my cell phone, 508-333-9393. You can also email me at N as in new, E as in England, homefinders@gmail.com. So that's NE homefinders@gmail.com. Thank you very much for taking the time to stop by. I hope I gave you some information that's going to help you in your home purchase. And if there's anything at all that I can do, please make sure that you give me a call. I'd love to help. And just another thing that's working with my husband, Dino Fantasia, and I, we love to throw housewarming parties for our clients once they get into their home. So if that's something that might interest you and you'd like to work with experienced realtors, we'd love to hear back from you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.